The concept of psychological needs is a pretty familiar one. You're all probably very familiar with Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Well, self determination theory is similar in the sense it posits three main psychological needs. It doesn't put them in terms of an hierarchy, it basically says that these are three of the most fundamental psychological needs that are important for human beings to be integrated and feeling pretty good about themselves. And it's not a complicated theory. And let's just see those three needs. Firstly, the need to have a sense of competence, not a specific competence, but generally that we're able to be able to learn and do things and express our capabilities. And it's fundamental to learning. Sometimes you might have experienced a situation where you might not be terribly interested in learning something, but when you do learn it, you have that sense of competence. Yeah, I can do this kind of thing. And that's terribly important for young people as they develop. The second one is, it's a nice long word, relatedness, but it's the basic idea that as human beings, we have a need to interact with others, to feel part of something, the concept of community, family, friendship groups. And in the classroom, when students feel a sense of relatedness with their colleagues, the students, and other relevant people like ourselves, even the lecturers, yeah, that's a positive thing. And if there's a nice psychological climate, that helps. So it makes perfect sense. And finally, well, let's be honest about it. People don't like going to prison for lots of reasons, but one thing you lose when you're in prison is a lot of choice, a lot of autonomy. So having a sense of control over aspects of one's life, might be nice to have total control. But in terms of students, when students have some choice about how they learn, what they learn, perhaps some of the methods that they can experience in your lessons, makes a difference to their sense of autonomy. Invariably, they've got to do the work, they've got to meet the standards, etc. But where it's possible to give them some autonomy, control over their choices and their learning experiences, seems to have value to learning. A lot of research has been done on this, and the theory is basically well validated. But then I think we all know that these things are important. The question is, how do we teach in ways to maximise the possibility that students perceive it in that way? So it's important not just that we do stuff that we think works, but the students themselves perceive that teachers are meeting their needs as far as is possible. And the last area is something that we've been promoting in SP quite a lot the last couple of years, but the idea of the mindset that when students have beliefs that if they work hard and they put in the necessary effort, they can be successful, as opposed to thinking, well, I'm all kind of blur la, I'm not as intelligent as the kids in JSIS and I'm not going to be successful. It's a massively important area of learning, our belief systems. If students have limited beliefs or limiting beliefs that they are not capable, they don't put the effort in, and as a result, they don't develop. Carol Dweck made famous the term growth mindset as well as a fixed mindset, which is summarized here. You're probably familiar with this, but if you actually look at it and just check, then it makes sense. And it certainly does. My own experience of teaching with students in ITE type environments and secondary schools, many of them just didn't think they were intelligent, and they just felt that this was a kind of genetic thing, that some kids have got it and some kids have not. The reality of it is that what one individual can learn in a good optimal environment, 95% of kids can. The area of special education is of course different, but at the Polytechnic, most of our students are capable. They may not be motivated, they might not have the right attitudes, some of their belief systems may be a bit faulty. So that's why if we can get them to take on a growth mindset and they develop interest in the learning, they see meaning in the learning, and they develop senses of competence and autonomy and relatedness, coupled with our evidence-based teaching methods, and that's basically what we're doing in this research. So I hope that gives you a decent summary of intrinsic motivation theory as it pertains to this research.